see what's first.
We're at the mercy now. What are we, Conor McGregor?
After their sweep of the Rockies, should the Brewers be the World Series favorites?
The Brewers should be the favorite in the National League, which I've been telling you for over a month on your own podcast. A month ago, I said to you, Tony, you asked me about the Cubs. I said the Brewers are better than the Cubs. The Brewers are better than everybody in that league. The Brewers and the Astros, if we're talking about favorites, and people can go south, one bad pitching start can kill a team in a series, but I'm going to go Brewers, Astros. Those are my favorites.
Okay, so I like Braun, and I like Yelich, and I like Kane.
He's MVP.
And I think they're very, very, very wonderful players. There was a statistic against the Rockies that was amazing to me. The Rockies were up for 28 full innings in the 3 games against the Brewers. In only 1 inning did they score. That means 27 out of 28 they were shut out.
Tony, starters and bullpen.
But
they got it.
I like the Dodgers.
I know you like them.
I think the Dodgers are the best collection of talent in the league. I think if Kershaw pitches like he did in Game 2 of that series, I think that they are better even than the Brewers, who
You're
I
just
like.
mad that Gio Gonzalez is going to get a World Series ring, perhaps, having left your Nationals. That's all you're upset about. Admit it. Fess up. Should the Packers put the total blame on Mason Crosby?
Well, here's what happened. The Packers lost to Detroit ultimately by 8 or 9 points, right? Is that what they lost
8?
by? He missed 4 field goals and an extra point. By my math, that's 13 points. He can even miss a field goal, and they can still win. I don't know who else you're supposed to blame.
I know.
Don't tell me it was 24-0, because the Cincinnati Bengals were down 17-0 to Miami and scored 27 points in a row. This is the kind of performance that gets a kicker fired.
It does. And that picture on the sideline where Aaron Rodgers is just cozying up to his buddy saying, hey, listen.
Because
he was
been there a
inconsolable.
long time. Yeah.
But Aaron Rodgers had 2 fumbles yesterday that were costly in that game.
How'd he do in the second half?
Don't give me yards thrown for when you're behind.
How did he do for scoring?
It was fine, but that was too late.
If you have Aaron Rodgers, if your kicker kicks normally and you have Aaron Rodgers, you have a chance. You have a chance.
Let me ask you this. Is Aaron Rodgers Sandy Koufax?
No.
Okay, so, you know.
Billy Koufax, the brother.
I don't know Billy.
Is Oklahoma's loss to Texas really just Mike Stoops' fault?
Well, Mike Stoops, you talk about taking all the blame. I mean, Mike Stoops' defense is dreadful. It's as bad as any defense Oklahoma has ever fielded, apparently. And Texas just went up and down. I couldn't believe the score, and this game was still going on. I finally got around to watching the end of it. But, Tony, I don't know that you want to fire. Really, should colleges be about firing assistant coaches or any kind of coach, like, in the middle of the season?
This is professional football on the high college level. Oklahoma can score. Kyler Murray scores 6 touchdowns a game by himself.
Okay.
Here's what happened with that defense. They gave up 501 yards to a team, Texas, that lost to Maryland. 5 touchdowns in the red zone. They were only in the red zone.
Are you for firing him?
Army and Baylor possessed the ball
One more
longer.
time.
Yeah, I would have made that change.
You would have fired him on Sunday morning
They have
from
no
college
Stoops
football?
to kick around now. Now all the Stoopses are gone. Yes.
Wow.
That's what you do.
That's vicious, man. I ain't agreeing with that.
No, you just fire everybody else.
I'm not down with that. Should the UFC be embarrassed or excited about what went down on Saturday night that you missed and are now going to try to minimize?
I have no regard for the sport.
I know you don't.
I hesitate to call it a sport. I just think it's bestial most of the time.
Okay, I agree with that.
I look at Conor McGregor as a vulgar lout almost all the time, a great self-promoter. Here's what's going to happen. They shouldn't be embarrassed.
He tapped out.
They shouldn't be embarrassed because they're going to have this fight again. And there's more money for Habib. There's more money for McGregor. There's more money for Dana White. And they're going to sell it and sell it and sell it. And they'll sell Conor McGregor until he loses 2 more fights in a row. Then they'll kick him to the curb.
Look, we saw this happen with Ronda Rousey. The shelf life in that sport, Tony, is not long. You're right. You get a couple of losses. Conor McGregor didn't get 2 more. He gets 1 more.
Okay.
If he doesn't win the rematch, he's not marketable anymore. He'll be gone on to permanently to pro wrestling. This thing was unbelievable. You could not take your eyes off it. It was riveting. Both the aftermath and then the press conferences in which they talked about everything short of deportation. Can somebody get another visa to return to have these fights? A lot of these things were exaggerated. I think they ought to be exhilarated because everybody's talking about
more money. Enough email. Let's take one last break. Still to come. It's John Gruden's chance to not hand the ball to Marshawn Lynch at the 1.
And after losing on a 63-yard field goal, Should the Giants stick with Eli? You gonna blame that on Eli? Was he on the special teams team?
I even built my own historic trading model.
And you're still not sure if you want